Well, welcome. Thanks for joining me for practice today. So go ahead and start laying down on your back. And so as you come down to rest on your back, just take a moment to sway your knees side to side a few times. Start to check in with your body and notice how you feel. And begin to breathe in a way that supports tuning in, noticing what physical sensation might be present in your body, as well as any thoughts or emotions that might be present for you. And then after a few sways of your knees from side to side, then hug your knees in toward your chest, give them a gentle squeeze, rock a little side to side, and then we'll roll over to the left. As you roll to your left side, you might rest your head on your left arm or the floor or a soft prop, but then take your right hand to your right shoulder and start to circle. A couple of times in one direction. And a couple of times the opposite way. All right, now reach that right hand up toward the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, twist. Send your right arm out and back. And as you come into this twist, just make yourself as comfortable as possible. So you can make any little micro adjustment to your position to make yourself as comfortable as possible. You might rest your left hand on your top knee. You can experiment with how high you place your right arm. And see which way your head wants to turn, left or right, or somewhere in between. And then start to let yourself relax into the shape, into the twist. And breathing in through the nose, feeling the chest, the ribs, the belly gently expand. And then feeling the breath move back up and out through the nose again. Take one more cycle of breath. And then just start to ease your legs back to center. And then before we do the other side, we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Bring the legs in toward the chest. Reach through for that left leg. You might grab around your left shin, maybe behind the knee. Or if grabbing all the way through to your left leg is not quite comfortable based on your proportions, you could just grab your right foot and just focus on drawing that right leg closer to the chest. As you take some attention to that right hip, we'll start to rotate through the left ankle as well. Wiggle and move the toes. Rotate a few times the opposite way. All right, then release both feet down to the floor. Again, step them wider than your hips. And as we begin, sway the knees side to side. All right, so we'll do the same thing on the right side. So when you're ready, roll over onto the right side of your body. Knees are drawn in. Left hand to left shoulder and start to rotate. A couple of times in one direction. And a couple of times the opposite way. All right, then reach the left hand up toward the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And exhale as you twist. Send your left arm out and back towards the floor behind you. And again, just make your twist as comfortable as possible. You might take that right hand to rest on your top knee. You can experiment with the height of your left arm, depending on what your left shoulder needs in terms of sensation. And if you want a little support underneath that left arm and shoulder, you could put a pillow or a blanket underneath just for a little bit of support. Again, guiding the attention to the breath as it flows in through the nose, expanding chest, ribs, belly, and flowing back up and out. All right, after your next out breath, slowly guide the legs back to center. This time crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. Bring the legs in toward the chest, reaching through for that right leg or left foot, depending on what works best. Rock a little side to side, as well as rotate through the right ankle. Wiggle and move the toes. Couple rotations each way. All right, then release both feet to the floor. And one more time, feet a little wider than the hips. Sway the knees side to side. All right, now as you roll to one side, press yourself up and come onto hands and knees. And so as you come onto hands and knees, just start with your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. We'll move through a few cycles of cat and cow. So with your inhalation, belly drops, head and tail lift up. With your exhale, tuck the tail, round the back, chin toward the chest. Again, inhaling as the belly drops, head and tail lift up. And exhale, tuck and round. All right, one more, breathing in. And breathing out. So as you bring yourself back to neutral, we'll tuck our toes under, lift the knees, take the hips up into the air. As you come into downward facing dog, lift and lower the heels a few times. Checking in with the feet, ankles, backs of the legs. All right, now release down to your knees and then all the way forward and down onto the front of your body. And so as you come down onto the front of your body, just walk your arms forward so that your elbows end up underneath your shoulders. And then we'll just do a quick squeeze and release of the fingers a few times, as well as a rotation through the wrists, letting go of any tension there. And then placing the palms back down on the floor, begin to lift the heart, reaching it forward, reach back through your toes, and then turn your head gently from side to side. All right, then drop the chin down toward the chest. And lift the chin up toward the ceiling. Again, back down toward the chest. And up toward the ceiling. All right, lower your heart down to the floor. Press back up onto hands and knees. This time from hands and knees, we'll take our knees close together and then lift the right knee up and out to the side and start to rotate through the hip. A couple of times in one direction. And a couple of times the opposite way. All right, now step your right foot out to the side, so directly out from your hip. And then we'll walk the hands in, lifting up. Right hand rests on the right leg. Take your left arm up alongside your head. Side bending to the right. All right, deep breath in, lift up. And exhale, release your left arm. Now we'll step this right foot forward into a lunge. And as you come into your lunge, you can step into a long lunge or a shorter lunge, depending on what feels best in your body. And then we'll take our hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and just begin to open up across the chest. If clasping the hands in this way doesn't work for you, you could grab a wrist, you could grab a hold of your forearms, or take your fists together behind your back. Just simply finding a sense of opening across the chest as the hips are going forward. Couple deep breaths. All right, one more breath. All right, release your hands to the floor. Take that right leg back. One more time, tucking the toes under. Lift the knees. Take the hips up as you find downward dog. So this second time in downward dog, take your feet a little bit wider apart. So maybe as wide as your sticky mat. All right, and then leaving the feet nice and wide apart, take a breath in and rock forward into a plank pose. So shoulders over the wrists, straightening out from head to feet. And as you exhale, shift back into downward dog. All right, release down to your knees. And then once again, all the way forward and down onto the front of your body. All right, this time we'll take our arms alongside the torso. All right, deep breath in. Lift your head and chest. Lift your arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift your feet. Feel the back side of the body engage as the front side of the body begins to open. And then just start to rotate your palms so that you feel the whole, each arm rotating up at the shoulder, led by the palm turning. So turning up and out and down. One more full breath. And then release the feet, release the arms, release the chest and head. All right, hands back underneath the shoulders, press back up onto hands and knees. And we'll do the second side. So take your knees close together. This time it'll be the left knee lifting up and out to the side. Start to rotate. Couple of circles in one direction. And a couple circles the opposite way. All right, then step the left foot out to the side, so directly out from your hip. Walk your hands in, lifting up. Take the left hand to rest on the left leg. Sweep the right arm up alongside the head. Side bending to the left. All right, then deep breath in, lifting up. Exhale, release your right arm, and then we'll step the left foot forward into a lunge. And again, it could be a short lunge, it could be a longer lunge, depending on what works best for you. And then we'll take the arms behind the back, and then interlace the fingers. This time, take your opposite thumb on top. So even something as simple as the way that we cross our fingers, we usually have a habit, a habitual way that we do it. So take your opposite thumb on top. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Open up across the chest. And as before, if clasping the hands doesn't quite work for you, you could grab a hold of your forearms, your elbows, take your fists together, just opening up across the chest. Couple cycles of breath here. All right, last full breath. All right, then release back to hands and knees. Once again, tuck your toes, lift up, finding downward dog. All right, so this time from downward dog, we'll walk our hands and feet toward each other. Come into your forward fold, and then just keep walking your hands up the fronts of your legs as you come all the way up to stand. So we'll practice breath of joy. So take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. This will be 3 breaths in, 1 breath out. So inhale as you take arms forward, and then out, and then up. Then as you exhale, bend your knees. Sweep the arms back as you exhale out your mouth. So 1 full cycle is in, out. And we'll do around 20 breaths, but I never count it, so it's in that neighborhood. All right, so landing into your feet, have some bounce in your knees, and let's begin. Last breath. And then just pause, fold it about halfway forward. Your forearms resting on your thighs, your spine nice and long. Take a few deep, easy breaths. All right, gradually rise to stand. And then turn so that you're facing the top of your mat. Step your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. Let your right toes turn slightly out. The front of you is basically facing the front of the mat. And then take your arms forward. Let your palms touch. All right, so connect with the sensations of your feet touching your sticky mat and your palms touching each other. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and twist to the left. Send your left arm out and back. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale the arms back together. And exhale to the left. 1 more, breathing in. And breathing out. Now as you inhale, bring the palms back together. Exhale, pull the palms into the heart, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. And then as you're reaching up through your palms, take another breath in. Exhale, bend your left knee. Again, inhale, straighten the left leg, keep reaching up through the palms. Exhale, bend the left knee. All right, 1 more, breathing in. And breathing out. Now, as you inhale and straighten your left leg, exhale, release the arms and switch your feet. So right foot forward, left foot back. Left toes are turning out just a little bit. Take the palms together, fingertips reaching forward. Connect with your feet as they touch the sticky mat and the palms as they connect with each other. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist to the right. Right arm out and back. Again, inhale, palms together. Exhale to the right. And one more, breathing in. And breathing out. Now as you inhale and bring your palms back together, exhale, pull the hands into the heart, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. Take a breath in. Exhale, bend your right knee. 2 more times. Inhale, straighten, nice and slow. Exhale and bend. One more, inhale. And exhale. Now as you inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, release your arms. Step forward so that your feet are about hip distance apart. Now breathing in, press the hips back, float the arms up. Exhale, fold over your legs, hands to the floor, step backwards into one more down dog. All right, from here, release down to your knees. Untuck your toes, sit back toward your feet, coming into child's pose. Now your knees might be close together. You might take your knees wide apart. Hands can be forward or hands might be back near the feet. Head might rest on the floor or a prop. We'll take 5 rounds of breath. All right, so after your 5th breath, bring yourself into a comfortable position. So you can choose whether you want to be in a seat or whether you want to be laying on your back. So bring yourself into a comfortable seat or laying on your back. To do a breathing practice here. If you are planning to take an extended rest after practice, you might already go ahead and lay down. If you've got other things you need to do right away after, maybe you stay in an upright seated position. But again, your choice. So the breathing practice is called square breathing. So if you think of the shape of a square having 4 equal sides, think of your breath cycle as having those same 4 parts to it. So each part you'll breathe into the count of 4, and then hold your breath for 4, and then exhale for 4, and then hold the breath out for 4. So again, that's inhale to 4, hold it in for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold the breath out for 4. All right, so you can begin when you're ready, and that count to 4 can be at a speed that works for you. Sometimes I like to check in with how fast my heart is beating, so just taking a moment to connect with the beating of your heart to know how fast to be counting to 4 on each of those 4 sides of the square. All right, so you can begin when you're ready. Now, after the next time that you exhale, go ahead and release the control of the breath so that your body once again starts to breathe in and out without restriction to its pace or volume. And you just start to check back in with how you're feeling in this moment after just under 30 minutes of movement. Noticing any physical sensation that's present, perhaps a slight temperature difference in your body. Maybe you're warmer, maybe you're cooler. Notice what thoughts, what emotions are present, and just allow it all to be. All right, now whether you're laying down or seated, we'll join our palms in front of the heart as we bow to the light within ourselves as well as each other. Thank you again for practicing with me today. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.